disappointing. I heard two voices, voices of what sounded like CHABINGA, and then a lady's voice. Now, according to the social media buzz and what is out there, you have this lady who's being purported to be a cabinet minister talking to CHABINGA. And CHABINGA apparently is talking from South Africa, and this lady is talking from Livingston. And they're discussing whatever operations they were both doing. I'm a little confused. Okay, I don't know how many of you have listened to that audio. There's one thing that I have not gotten very clearly from that audio. Number one, CHABINGA keeps saying these people, keeps referring. Let me play the audio, if you guys can listen with me. Then we can decipher what CHABINGA is talking about, if it's the purported CHABINGA, if it indeed is CHABINGA. And also, I want to also listen in, and I want you guys to actually think through with me what's going on here. Okay? Now, I don't know who said it's AI. It doesn't necessarily look like it's AI. But we'll get to that in a few minutes. I want us to listen to the audio, and I want us to see what is the audio saying and what is the audio not saying. All right? I don't know who this is. Do you know who's the lady on the phone? Let me just ask this question. Let me ask you guys. You've heard the audio, you have listened to it. I want to know what you guys think. Who is the lady on the call? Let me know in the comment section if you can hear. Martha, I sent to me, Martha and Tini, Inonge, yes, it's real. It's not. This is not AI. What I want us to know is to let's move past the AI thing. Let's move past the AI thing. Let's decipher what's going on in the video. I want us to focus on the content of the conversation. Let's decipher what is going on. Okay, so some of you are saying Doreen Mwamba, Minister of Community and Development. Okay. Yes. My assistant. Therefore, the matter like was son over more like my chiba. I just missing in action. Does anyone know who's Martha? Who is Martha? The purported minister. According to you guys, you're saying it's Doreen Mwamba. I'm asking you, who is Martha? Who is she referring to as Martha? Let's identify the players in the audio, because it will become very important to what I'm going to say. Who is Martha, that the purported Minister of Community Development is? Yeah, my president is national president of PF. That's where it's a Martha. Can you guys hear? I'm playing it from my phone. Martha, chalo chankondo. Chalo chankondo. Edo nomba pa pashani paja.
Thursday, Wednesday, you chibe, I sat to my phone. Thank you first chibe and to me, but Tuesday, Ushiko. I'm not to man at the conference, Livingstone. Nishi, you're not a focus on a cuchillo. That's ya, which I have your fine. Edo too, you know, if we're just as much as brave one of our sister, but feel a chamonica quite a modern be number to ambo sponsor our PF.
So, according to you, if this is Doreen Mwamba is saying that Fida Chamonica Kwati to refer to Reambok sponsor our PF. Okay? That's what she says. She just said, if you're hearing, she's talking about a conversation she had with another person, and she's saying clearly that to refer to the Monica Kwat to sponsor by PF. Those are our words. Whoever the woman is talking about, whoever the reference that she's referencing a conversation she had with another person to CHABINGA, purported CHABINGA on this audio call. Let's listen in.
So I said, okay, in a panda could dinner, but I sent you push it, if you want it, Nakuti ampela tickets. So if I can, if you can't, Kalabuta but in Sako organize tickets, where what the more tickets, Palace Bennett Airport. Within 10 minutes, about 2 minutes, tickets. Namupela na number, Napela number, and send communicates in India Mutina, and I'm speaking. So, but one for the tickets, Yamonica Baya. But Kakudia number on Wednesday, in a day, service. By Saturday, my yoke of Chitike. Number one, and let me not CHABINGA. If you're busy, Pretoria, Kalshani, your Shani
Kabin.
If I'm a someone's that much, which you mean, and the Malasota Mushibi. Inga ba CHABINGA. By some Shani Mudiashi, I'm a quicker loco.
So there is two characters here that have already been identified by the woman on the call. Chibe ni ba nani that she's referring to. Number two, who is Martha that she referred to at the beginning of the conversation, that the purported CHABINGA doesn't seem to know very well. In fact, he said, oh, but Martha, but Awa Kashika, according to the lady, Awa Kashika. So CHABINGA doesn't seem to know who the woman is talking about. Let's just begin. One of the things we want to do is to help our people think critically on these issues and be analytical in the way that you hear things and listen to things. And I'll come to the meat, to the soup that you want. The things that you want is, okay, how does CHABINGA get linked to UPND and the president? I think that's where the noise has been concentrated. And so let's listen again.
Charity. Nana kutumu abantu n'abakutuma. Takwaba wasena na bamunonko n'abana no. Ile finonchile kuno ku Livingstone. Nine wondishile te program yaba Mwamba nangwa abana banti no. So nangwa suke phone mune kwa chiseshani. So really no. Ukulanda nilanda nankwe kwena. Nomba ashwa busy baletele 15 masamonifi. Nomba bachwa busy
Okay, let's stop there. Let's analyze what this woman is saying. She's referencing someone that she was talking to and talking about Tuali Sakuno Fueba Leterefma summons. And I'm thinking, okay, she's referring to summons that are before the South African courts. Now, let's take a back seat for a second and think through what she just said. Whoever she was talking to, whoever it was that she was talking to, and she's narrating the story to CHABINGA, and she references that ever later if summons. How many summons are there in the South African courts concerning the burial of the former president? We know straightforward and they have very critical minds. How many court cases are there before the South African courts that involves our former late president, Edgar Chagwa Lungu? How many? There's only one. There's only one case brought by the state. There's only one case brought by the state of the Republic of Zambia through its Attorney General in the South African courts. Only one case. Who is she? Let's just say for a moment, that this person is Doreen Mwamba, who is a cabinet minister in the current government in the Republic of Zambia. You think that she'll be talking to someone and believing them that they have brought IFMA summons in the South African courts? There's a lot of if she is the cabinet minister that she is, she probably knows that the Attorney General of the Republic of Zambia is in the South African courts. That's not a secret. You all know that the Zambian government has sued the Lungu family to bring the body of the former president back to Zambia for a state funeral. This is in public domain. There is no imingarato that the state is playing or hiding. They are doing it in the open. The Attorney General has applied that the South African government hands over the body to the state for us to have a burial befitting a former president. Now, that's in public domain. The president, the Attorney General who's acting on behalf of the president and the government of the Republic of Zambia and the people of Zambia, they have not hidden this information. No one has hidden this information. It's in public domain. The Attorney General was in South Africa. He brought a case. So the question in this audio is, who is the woman referring to that told her to aletele fima summons? Fima summons in Shiba aletele kwisa. Let's stay there. Fima summon in Shiba aletele. If indeed this is Doreen Mwamba, she should have easily said, what summons are you talking about? Because I'm a summons twice as government, as a member of government, are only the summons that have been brought up by the Attorney General. Banani. Niva Nani that she's referring to. Since some of the people like Emmanuel Mwamba have come online here and want to paint a picture that there is some kind of sinister that's happening, that's what we're trying to decipher. If that is there or not in this audio.
Number one. Yeah, boss on Friday.
Okay. This is where now it begins to get juicy. This is a purportedly Chavinga saying operation naishile kuno yaba bossi na Friday. Who's Friday? Who's Friday? And who's the boss that Chavinga is referring to? I'll answer those questions. Now, there is Mwamba and others are saying Chavinga, if this is Chavinga, has ADCs and security and police. You have to understand the background to this. Mwamba is painting a picture that these are provided for because of, one, they are connected to the funeral, two, they are connected to the fact that they are funding Chavinga. Here is the truth. I don't know if you have followed what's going on. Chavinga leads a faction of the PF party. Remember, Chavinga fought with Mao Sampa and they split up. They were together before. They split up. Before Chavinga and Mao Sampa became one PF faction against the former president and his crew and Vena Ruvinda Uku, there was Chavinga and Mao Sampa. You understand that? Chavinga and Mao Sampa. Then there was Ruvinda and the former president on one corner. And then you have the Tonse fringes that are there. The question that you should be asking yourself, who is Chavinga? If this is indeed Chavinga, who is Chavinga referring to as boss? And who's Friday? These are critical questions to decipher what's going on here. Okay?
I'm around. Okay.
Okay. You have to understand one thing. Chavinga, and the reason why I'm telling you the connection between Chavinga and Mao Sampa, I'm leading to a very important point. Chavinga currently is the leader of the opposition in parliament. Chavinga is currently a leader of opposition in parliament. How did we get here? Chavinga had a faction of PF after they split up with Mao Sampa, and Chavinga, as a leader of the opposition in parliament, they are afforded, this is not new, they are afforded diplomatic passports sometimes, and it's a case-by-case basis. Sometimes they are given, even ordinary people that have had ambassadorial positions in government, they are given diplomatic passports. This is not new. That is exactly what was actually the reason why he's talking about security and all that stuff. These guys are part of the leadership of the National Assembly, the Zambia National Assembly. And so what I'm telling you is Chavinga, if indeed this is Chavinga, Chavinga is afforded those things by virtue of the leader, of being a leader of the opposition in parliament. It's nothing sinister. We've seen it before. We have had the MPs traveling on diplomatic passports in Zambia before. And so for me, that is a non-issue. It's a non-starter. No, he has diplomatic passports. Therefore, he's being treated. No, Miles Sampa himself, ask him, and others that have been, Emmanuel Mwamba himself, kept his diplomatic passport for a minute as an ambassador. So this is not even a question. No, Chavinga, Bapetronera, Chavinga is the leader of the opposition currently in parliament. They haven't changed. The PF faction appointment, which came when they reconciled, hasn't been processed at National Assembly. The leader of the opposition is Chavinga currently, officially, in Zambia. You understand what I'm saying? So all these people are bringing all these things, but let's connect to Tuntu so that Chimonike Kwati, there is something going on when actually there is nothing on that issue. Iyama passport. That is not even a problem. People are given diplomatic passports depending on the role that they're playing in government at the executive level, also in parliament. Mwamba knows this. A lot of people that have served in government, they know this truth. This is the truth. Now, you can choose to believe the lie, and you can choose to believe the truth. You can choose to believe the lie, or you can begin to choose to believe the truth. Chavinga, if Chavinga, and I don't know that he has a diplomatic passport. I don't know that. Okay, what I can tell you is that leaders of the opposition in parliament are afforded diplomatic passports. that's the way it is. Now, the other question I have, and the bigger question I have, is even before we ask who recorded this, right? Who recorded this? The question is, do you really think, you Zambians, do you really think that the president, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, you really think that he can wake up at night, 02, to call Chavinga 13 times? How many times did he say the president, whoever it is that is saying, if you guys think, oh, they are referring to His Excellency, they are referring to the leader, and you guys have said, no, it's President Hakainde Hichilema that they're referring to. You really think, in your mind, in your right mind, you think that the president can wake up at 03 a.m. to call Chavinga? Let's think through this very carefully. You really think that the president woke up like someone is saying here? That's why this is how you catch lies, and propaganda. Okay, this is how you catch lies and propaganda. There's a lot of thinking that needs to be done. You can believe lies. You can listen. You can choose to believe lies. And one of the things we are not going to do is that we're not going to allow you to plant lies in the minds of the people that are innocent. We want the Zambian people to know the truth. What is the interest? What is the interest of, let's just say what you're saying is true. You don't want us to rebuttal what Mwamba is saying because you know it's nonsense. You really think in your mind that President Hakainde Hichilema can wake up at 01 to call Chavinga and tell him to do what? In your mind, you really think that's possible? No, Tsukukambaleti. Let's. I was, like I said, I was on sabbatical. I was enjoying myself. I was having a good time. I'd stepped away from Facebook for a minute. When I came back, Mwamba is all over the place, and others say no, there's audio, Shan, what not, audio for what? No one is telling us clearly what exactly the audio is saying. What is CHABINGA, a purported CHABINGA, is talking about operation. What operation? Because what is in the public domain is very clear. What the president has said is very clear. Our interest as a government is to offer the former president a befitting send-off as a former head of state, as a former Republican president. That is in the public domain. So what kind of other operations, those sinister operations that you guys are talking about, that don't even make sense? And so you have to question what people put out there. You cannot be someone who just follows what people put in your mind. Question our leaders, including those in opposition. What is their motive? What are they trying to do? What narrative are they driving in the country? It's very clear. The president has been very clear. We want to bury the former president in Zambia. And he has taken action that he thinks befits in a straightforward way. The attorney general went and sued the Lungu family. It's in public domain. It's in public domain. Then you are fed with this video that purports that a minister is talking to a leader of the opposition in parliament, and he's on some kind of operation somewhere, and he's doing all these things. To what end? To what end? And that's the point I'm trying to drive at here. To what end? To what benefit? And you really think that President Hakainde Hichilema can wake up in the morning at 02 to call CHABINGA to conduct an operation like that? Even if you want to reduce the Zambian presidency, please don't do that. You people, you want to reduce the Zambian, forget about the person that's there now as president. You really think, you guys, you really think that the president can wake up in the morning and call CHABINGA at 02 and tell him whatever he was telling him? He's purporting to have been told. Any right-thinking Zambian will think twice. Zambia has the Zambia intelligence services. Zambia has military intelligence. Zambia has Office of the President Special Division. Zambia has military. Zambia has Zambia Police Intelligence. You really think that the president can call CHABINGA at 02 and start telling him what to do? Listen, whoever is on that call, if it's CHABINGA, CHABINGA is going to review exactly what he was talking about, who he was talking about, and who gave him an operation. Operation for what? Don't let people feed you with fake information. If you have a fee, president, Sometimes take time to analyze things. Imwa umuntu avuka at no, the president called me at 02. At 02. If you look at the character of President Hakainde Hichilema, let's examine the anatomy and the character of President Hakainde Hichilema. You really think that a president can wake up at 02 to go CHABINGA? You guys play too much. Oloku Ibwesha Panshi presidency. Even if you don't like the person who's the president now, you respect the office of the presidency. Office of the president, the president is not going to use anyone to do anything. It's very important to distinguish lies from the truth. There is no way, and listen to this, these lies. You think that the president can do that? And CHABINGA, if really that is CHABINGA must be questioned, must be held accountable. If we also need to get Doreen, if that is indeed Doreen Mwamba, we must get Doreen to tell us exactly who was being referred to, who was being talked about, if this audio actually is those people. That is the point. And let me, I want you to listen to this. I want you to listen to this. Because sometimes we come here and you listen to all these people. So the question I'm asking you is, who recorded that? Not only who recorded that, what operation was CHABINGA, if indeed that is CHABINGA? Who and what operation was given to him? Who's Friday? There's no one who gave, listen, Jeff, no one who gave PF presidents. They had confusion. You had your own confusion in the PF party. Just like it happens all the time. Every time a party loses elections, it happened to UPNIP. People wanted to take over UNIP. The Kaunda family remained there. From Kaunda himself to Colonel Panji Kaunda. These things happen all the time to political parties in Zambia. We have a prophet, no, you are paying CHABINGA or you're paying who paid Miles? Do you pay Miles and then you pay CHABINGA? Then everyone who comes up to begin to take over as party president of the PF is paid by someone. It's not being naive. You're the one who's being naive. Let's be clear here. If PF party as a party was solid enough, no one could have paid them to do anything. The confusion in PF was caused by their own leaders. The PF announced, now Mulalaba fast in Zambia. That's why people take you for granted. The PF announced that they were going to go to a convention where they're going to choose a new president after the late President Lungu resigned from politics. GBM Mwamba paid money to stand as PF president. Chishimbagambwili, I don't know if Chishimbagambwili did it. Mao Sampa paid money to stand as PF president. There was also Grefford Monde paid money to stand as PF president. Mundubile paid money to stand as PF president. And several others, But GBM also paid to stand as PF president. What happened after that? That was a trick. The PF echelon, which includes late former President Lungu, given Lubinda, they had no plans to hold a convention. They had no plans to hold a convention because they wanted President Lungu to come back into politics. People were going behind their backs and telling them, don't hold elections. These people can't win. The only person who can challenge President Hakainde Hichilema is President Lungu. Muna ibukisha where this problem comes from. And I'm going back there because you have asked the question, who's the UPND is sponsoring CHABINGA. No, let's look at things in perspective. The problem started there. After all those people paid in money, CHABINGA was with Miles at the time. CHABINGA supported Miles Sampa. And so they went and vied to be PF leaders. CHABINGA wanted to be appointed as Secretary General of the party by Miles Sampa. What happened? They canceled the elections in the PF and the convention. What happened? Mao Sampa decided, oh, let me go ahead and call for a convention. They held the PF convention where they elected him, Mao Sampa, as president of the PF. And Mao Sampa proceeded to go to Registrar of Society to change the office bearers. Mulalava, that's the problem, Zambia. You forget so easily. That's how Mao Sampa became PF president, and those documents were filed with the Registrar of Society. That's how Mao Sampa, that's how he got hold of that PF party, away from President Lungu, Bena Given Rubinda, and others, Bena Mundubire and others. You forget a lot. So what I'm telling you now is that's how CHABINGA ended up Secretary General. When Mao Sampa decided he wants to give the party back to President Lungu, fast forward what had happened, CHABINGA was not happy with that. CHABINGA led another faction, another coup d'etat within the party. And he became president of the PF, another faction of the PF. That has nothing to do with the UPND. That has nothing to do with the government. That has nothing to do with anything. President Hakainde Hichilema can't even can't take calls from certain people, let alone call someone at 02. Huh? At 02, I know he's calling CHABINGA to give him operations. Guys, let me find the let's listen to this CHABINGA audio. Let's listen to this audio. Let's get it. Let's get the point. I want to get it to a point where CHABINGA is talking about. Muna mfofo balenda.
South Africa. No wonder ukutumila nomoko. Oh, I see.
Now mfofo balenda. CHABINGA is saying, oh, you can't hear. Let me explain what CHABINGA is saying. Whatever, if it's CHABINGA. CHABINGA is saying, I wanted to enjoin the case in South Africa as leader of the opposition. He wanted to enjoin that particular case as leader of the opposition. I've explained to you how CHABINGA became leader of the opposition in parliament. That's it. So what I'm asking from you is, what exactly is the end game here that you're saying? No, it's very bad. If this is true, if the president woke up at 02 and called CHABINGA, as people are purporting, and told him all these things, and told him to bribe South African, you really think that the president did that? You think that the president did that? No, we will never quit. Anna, let me give you some news. Anna Bwalia, let me give you some really, really bad news for you. We will never quit. We never quit when we were being prosecuted by the PF. When the PF was beating people up every single day in Zambia, we never quit. We never quit when Chibulo Mapenzi was shot. You really think we are going to quit now? You really think we are going to quit now? What is embarrassing, actually, is people believing that the president woke up in the middle of the night and made a call to some guy in South Africa. That's embarrassing. As a Zambian, you shouldn't even think like that. And there's no one who can believe that. Now, you can believe that whatever Mwamba is telling you, believe it. This has nothing to do. Mwamba and others have always wanted to keep this issue of the dead president in the limelight. They don't want this issue to go away because their political future hinges on that. That's the problem. That's the real issue. You want me to tell you exactly what the problem is. This is it. Mwamba and all his surrogates and all Rubinda and all these, they want to keep this issue going. They want to keep, and they will mushroom anything, and they'll bring it up and make it a conspiracy theory to make sure this issue is alive, because you know what? That's the only issue they have to be relevant in the political scene. That's it. That is the only issue that will garner them support, sympathy. They want to continue to play on the sympathy of the Zambian people, on the family of the Lungu. And that's why Mwamba constantly, 24/7, 24 hours is hammering on the same issue, because that's the only issue they know will keep Zambians glued to what's happening in South Africa. That's it. Mwamba has nothing else to offer the Zambian people. And his surrogates, they have nothing else to talk about. So the only way they're going to glue people like you is to exactly do that. Keep this issue, bring up frivolous issues, bring something. I mean, there was a video that came up here where they had Chabinga traveling, and the person who was behind Chabinga, who was sitting behind Chabinga, is Ibrahim Mwamba. Ibrahim Mwamba took a video of Chabinga, and Ibrahim was actually insinuating that Chabinga needs to be beaten up. You really think you really think that the president can call 44 times, 33 times someone who's not picking up? Something becomes believable. No, so that people can believe your lies. It's very, very obvious. You cannot. This is not it. So this should break the bank. This audio. You know, when people were calling me, like I said, I was out on sabbatical, and people were sending messages. Now we want the audio. Now we want audio. Me, I thought it was actually the audio of the president talking, because I wasn't here. I was thinking it was actually the president calling. Me, I thought it was the president calling. I said, "Hey, Kashka Bobwa." They have the video. They have the voice of the president Hakainde Hichilema talking to someone. Here is my advice to you. Deal with the issues in the PF party. Deal with your internal wrangles that you have as a party. The judgment in South Africa is coming up. The judgment in South Africa will either go against the government, against the Attorney General, or it will go for the Lungu family. There's only two possible results of that case. The courts in South Africa will decide and say, hey, government, you have no standing, leave the remains of the former president in the hands of the Lungu family. They will do whatever they want to do with it. Or the courts will rule there is enough public interest. And for the purpose of public interest, it is important that the former president is offered a state funeral and he's buried back in Zambia. And the judgment will go towards the state. Only two ways. There's only two ways that the judgment, the case can go. And that's where we are. If you want someone else, hey, judge, they're bribing the judges and whatnot, all that noise will come to an end when the South African courts decide. Chapwa. Everything else, chongo yemleumfa. Bringing us from sabbatical leave to come and handle these issues. We'll bring in some people here. And if it's acceptable, I might actually bring Honorable Doreen Mwamba here so that we can interview her and talk about exactly what happened, and that way she can explain for herself. We are also going to see if we can bring in the government spokesperson, Cornelius Mwetwa, Honorable Cornelius Mwetwa, to come and explain to the people and interact with you guys. We are going to bring the UPND spokesperson and other leaders to come here and explain for themselves. And if possible, we are going to bring Chabinga here to come and explain for himself. If indeed that's him on the audio, we have their contacts. We are going to call him and bring him on this platform. Let him explain himself. That's what we want to do. We want the truth. And I'm sure you guys want the truth. You guys want the truth. And so we want to arrange for Honorable CHABINGA, MP, leader of the opposition in parliament. We didn't appoint him. We're going to bring him here. Simple. This idea that, I thought you guys had the voice of the president and the president is calling someone. You had purportedly a minister talking to purportedly CHABINGA, and they're talking, the two of them. I don't understand how this links up to His Excellency. So we are going to figure that out. CHABINGA will be questioned to figure out if indeed someone sent him for an operation. And then we'll figure out who recorded that. All right. So guys, thank you so much for listening. We are back. We are back, and we are going to go on a daily basis to ensure that people get actually the true picture of what's happening. Thank you very much.